This is an unboxing and video review for the CigGo T temperature control box mod from Bauway, I believe it is. This was sent to me for the purpose of review, and I'm also doing a giveaway for 2 of these. I have another one in silver and one in blue. This is a 100 watt temperature control mod, and it comes with a tank. Okay. Temperature control system. Here are the specs. Temperature control system. Control and limit the temperature of the coils in your atomizer so that they never go above a certain temperature. I like the sound of that. This kit contains 1 CigGo T temperature control box mod, 1 CigGo T Ni200 tank OCC coil, 1 mouthpiece, 1 micro USB. Caution, keep out of reach of children. Keep away from high temperature. Do not dry burn OCC coil. Sales prohibited to persons under 18 years of age. Made in China. Okay, so here's the packaging. It comes in this nice kit box. And here is the mod and tank nestled snugly in this velvet topped foam. Here's your micro USB to USB charging cable. And you need that because this does not have removable batteries. Here you got your spares. What spares might those be? Your spare drip tip. That's it. No extra coils. It comes with a tank, a mod, and 1 coil installed. I have no spare coils. And that's what we got. This does come with a nickel Ni200 coil. They do make a Canthol coil, but I was not supplied those. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. Let's start off with the tank. The tank. Also included is the temperature control mod user manual for the CigGo T. Well, let's get a close-up of this tank. It's got this nice rubbery, like latex dip surface coating on it. That's not paint, that's dip. Maybe it's paint, I don't know. But it's a nice protector housing for this glass tank. It's matte black finish, kind of rubbery, not scratching. Very nice, actually. I like this. Got knurling on the top and the bottom here. This drip tip is stainless steel, black anodized, and it fits in there very snugly, held in by an O-ring. Oops. When you juice this up, then it probably won't do that. It won't shred those O-rings like that. So when you put it on there, it's a very snug, tight fit. Here's the trick. Instead of trying to press it into place, twist it. Put a little juice on there, it'll go in much easier. Okay, so that's that. Here's the 510 pin, non-adjustable 510 pin. Do not use this on hybrid mech mods. In fact, don't use it on mech mods at all. The whole purpose of having a tank is that you can use variable wattage and tweak it to where you like to vape. Also, this only comes with a nickel coil, so don't use it on a mech mod anyway because that's just wattage straight up power, and you're not supposed to vape nickel that way. Enough said, my public service announcement done. Clear Tank T. That's what this says. And I haven't had this all too long, and I haven't used it at all. And I don't know, that's a little dirty and funky. But aside from that, let's take a look at the tank. So here's your airflow control with a little stopper. I guess that's machine oil on there. Oh, yay. Like, I didn't fill this tank up. I didn't use it, so whatever liquid you see there, beat it up, that's machine oil. Possibly because it's a prototype. I hope you don't see that in the general market, getting a tank like that with beat up machine oil on there, because it gets into the coil and it taints the flavor. That cotton will soak up any available moisture or liquids nearby. So this is how you take the tank off. Unscrew it like that. Okay, the threads were very smooth. Here's the coil. Here's the tank. Let's look at the coil first. So we've got a bottom dual. Okay, no, I'm sorry. We've got a vertical coil. Looks like very nicely packed in there. I like this funnel shape at the top. That's interesting. All right, there's the coil in there, nestled snugly. Let's take that coil out and get a good look at it. Here's your atomizer base. Your base, that's your connector to the 510. There's your O-ring that seals the tank. There's a little more machining oil on the tank threads. So clean the tank thoroughly before you use it, otherwise you're going to get a little bit of that taste. You use very mild soap like organic soap or hot water. Should be enough. I use vodka. I'll give these all a very, very thorough rinsing with hot water, and then I dip them in vodka, or I soak them in vodka depending on how much oil I find. That oil will taint the flavor of your vape. So, all right. And again, here's that airflow control. Okay. Here's the coil. Oh, interesting. There's your airflow. It's very Joytech Ego 1-esque. This coil looks actually exactly like an Ego 1 coil. Maybe it is. Maybe I can use the Canthil coils from the Ego 1. I don't currently have an Ego 1 handy or a Joytech tank with coils handy, so I can't test that out for you. But this like wire sticking down there, just erroneously hanging out in thin air like that is a Joytech thing. I notice all the coils come like that, and I have the urge to clip that. Why must there be? It's just a piece of wire sticking. It's just untidy. I don't know why they do that. All right, there's your coil. That's the wicking slots. This says it's clearly labeled Ni 200.2 ohms. I would like to see a different colored coil, but this only came with one coil. So I'm sorry, a different colored O-ring, but it only came with it. It's clearly labeled on the box, on the packaging, on the coil itself. You know you've got a nickel coil here. Okay, so don't vape this in wattage mode. All right, there you go. That's the coil. Let's screw that back down. And the threads were nice. They were smooth. Everything. I took this apart, looked at it, and procrastinated this video because I'm not keen on anything that comes with your only option to vape is nickel. Well, give me something else, because what if I don't want to vape that way? I guess don't buy this if you don't like nickel. Nickel is an advanced metal for experienced vapors to use and choose if they want to vape that way or not. It's not for beginners. This is not. So if you're going to put this out to the market with a price range and attractiveness for beginners, you may want to consider getting those Canthil coils in the package and supplying the nickel coils separately, or as an addition to, but not as the main, like, I'm taking this out and I want to use the product I just bought. Well, that's nickel or nothing. So there's a little bit of junk, a little bit of dirt. That's why I'm showing you this, not to mock the product, but to show you, you got to clean that. This is going to be one you need to clean. Like, this spins around, it doesn't seem to come off, but it does spin. This is not, it's not like this has a top fill or anything. It's just freely spinning. See that? This is, okay, so it's got, you know what that is? That's got one of those juice flow control things. So look, let's look real close. That's where you fill the tank. There's your nice O-ring inside that seals it. And there's your chimney. Let's take a look without this again. So I bet you I find a little bit more machine oil and gunk up top here. You know, this feels very prototype-esque to me. But all right, so that's my advice and recommendation to you guys, Bauway. I'm not going to vape on this. I'm not going to fill it up. I'm not going to use it. I rarely vape. I don't vape nickel out of enjoyment. Personal vaping, I don't even do that. I vape nickel in temperature control mode in review videos to show for people who want to vape that way. But now you sent me a tank with just a nickel coil. I'm not going to mess around with that. I don't have a Canthil Joytech coil right now to screw with. So let's take a look at the mod that I'm very interested in, because it's a 100-watt mod with a cool ergonomic design, It's got a 3,300 milliamp hour battery in it, I believe. Let me check on that. Well, let's go through the user manual. Let's see what they tell us about their product. So CigGo T, here. Let's go page by page. 1, 2. In the picture, there's the screen. 3. There you go. Specs on the tank. 4. How to use the tank, clear or tank T. Okay, 3.5 milliliter capacity. There's your airflow control. For high VG or pure VG, you need to increase the e-liquid inflow volume. So that's that juice control valve thingy with the, all right. There you go, e-liquid inflow hole. See that on the base of the chimney? This top ring here that spins. So here we have our, get it in the light. There, you can see the cotton. Now you don't. You turn this, and you can see the cotton coming in, coming out. Okay, so that's how you adjust the juice flow control based on the viscosity of the liquid you're vaping, high VG, low VG, whatever you got. Okay. And it's going to show you some nice pictures. For high VG proportion e-liquid, recommended to keep 4 holes open, 3/4 or all opened. For normal proportion, well, normal to me is high VG, but normal, I guess they're saying like a 60-40, recommended to keep 4 holes only half opened, and then close the 4 holes, may keep your e-liquid fresh and prevent leaking problem when no use for a period of days. So there you go. If you're using very thin e-liquid, close it down. When you're filling this, no. Prevent leaking problem. Okay, so if it's going to sit around for a few days, you just close off the juice flow. Warning, in order to avoid burnt smell before using the atomizer, please unscrew the coil head and hold the coil head at 45-degree angle. Drip 1 drop of e-liquid on the edge of the sub-ohm coil as below. So you got to prime it. It's showing you how to prime it. You drip it into that funnel. 1 drop, maybe a little more than 1 drop, but not, what they're saying is not excessive. Don't squirt it down there. All right, fill clear tank with e-liquid and screw back to the coil base. Wait 30 seconds before vape. So you're going to prime the top of that coil with a little bit of e-liquid. Let it soak into that cotton to get it going from the inside. Then you're going to put the tank back on, filled with e-liquid, and wait 30 seconds. I'd give it a couple of minutes. There you go, on off, click 5 times in 2 seconds. TC mode, variable wattage mode selection, switch over after startup. To get into TC mode, once enter TC mode, setting temperature in Celsius or Fahrenheit. All right, there you go. If switched to variable wattage mode from TC mode, you need to press the plus and minus keys together. Same operation to switch back to TC mode. What are they saying? It might automatically switch into TC mode or, geez. Well, I'm not testing TC on this because I just don't feel like doing that today. I'm sorry, guys. You have obviously not watched my channel and you picked the wrong reviewer if you want a guy that's going to show everything about nickel and temperature control. That's not me. It's fine. You know, I'm not sitting here saying don't do it. I'm just saying it's an advanced vaping metal. I don't feel like messing around with that today. My quota for nickel has already been used up for the week on another product. Sorry. But you wanted a review, so here's your review. Connect Clear OT atomizer. Okay, so there you go. There's your 6-month warranty. Very nice. Okay, there's your user manual. I'm not being negative. I'm just being, listen, there's some things I do well, and there's some things I don't do well. Going and screwing around with nickel coils is not something I do very well. It's not something I want to do very well. Okay, so here's our USB charging port. Here's the mod. Oh man, this has a very nice, just a nice finish to it. It feels like these panels are just rubbery, but like you can't It's like latex dipped or something. This is even a little like softer than this side. So that's nice. It's scratch resistant. You got your fire button up, so it fits nice and ergonomically in the hand. See that grip? And then your fire button is up here. Phil Basardo would be very happy. He likes to fire things up with his thumb. Me, I'm more of a trigger finger. But, all right, let me do this. Everybody likes to see when you grab some type of piece of metal or implement and you push in that pin in videos just to demonstrate, oh, look, don't these fucking things all come with a spring? Yes. Oh, yeah, there's the spring. There, it's there. See that? Okay. There's your threads. That's your 510 connection in there. What's the significance of doing this? Is showing you that any atomizer that you have is going to adjust to the proper height and depth of your atomizer's 510, demonstrated thusly. This is a 510 connection. This is another 510 connection. They're different heights, depths, whatever. All right, you see how, here's an example of an RDA where the 510 sticks out, the negative contact sticks out, and on this one it does not. It never does on tanks, and if it protrudes, it doesn't protrude by much, but this one doesn't stick out. So if you were to put this on a hybrid mech mod, which would be about the most dangerous and dumbest thing you could ever possibly do, what's going to happen is your hybrid mech mod battery, that would be a direct connect right to the top of that battery, and what you would instantly have is a dead short. I'm like literally a half an inch away from venting a battery right here. I hope you know that, guys. This would close the circuit. This would be negative and positive, because positive and negative. The center pin is positive. Immediately doing this and closing the circuit on the battery right there. Boom, you're done. Your battery, and then the electricity doesn't go up through the atomizer. It instantly goes back into itself and vents the battery. That's dangerous. You see people in the hospital for that. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to hijack this review video to show you that. This isn't the kindest video, I'm sorry. It's not the most praiseworthy video because you sent me a tank that has only a nickel coil in it, and I don't feel like I was going to vape nickel once this week. Somebody else beat you to it. I already did that, and today's not your day for nickel. Sorry, Bauway. So that's the form factor of a tank on there. That's how the atomizer fits in. Very nice. Okay, it's comfortable. And I suspect that this mod is going to hold up and withstand quite a lot of a beating. Did we see in here how much of a battery milliamp hour? Oh. Battery capacity, 2 times 2500 milliamp hour, 20 amp high rate discharge batteries. It's got 2 batteries in there. 5,000 milliamps. Wow. That's cool. So this sucker should last me like 2 days. Maybe a day. All right, there we go. Let's take a look at the screen. Screen's on the bottom. So, now let's peel this. Look, I even saved, I love this part. I love peeling this little sticky guy off on devices. Be a little more patient with me and you won't get that smudge. All right, so there, it's on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Locked. CigGo. VW mode. TC mode. VW mode. TC mode. How do we get it out of that? There we go. If you hold the positive and negative, it adjusts back and forth. The only problem with that it's a quick, okay, what if I put my mod down? It's in temperature mode. Could I accidentally, like maybe on a hard surface? I would be concerned. So listen, if you buy this and you own this, check it before you vape. Make sure you're in whatever mode you're supposed to be in. So I'm in wattage mode. Let me go ahead from 1 watt all the way up to 100 watts. Pretty quickly too. Let's back it down to 54 watts. Actually, I have an RBA on here right now, and so I'm going to back it down to 30. Yeah, 35 is good. There we go. All right. So, remember my fire button's over here. So, oh, I like that little smoky signal. See that little smoky picture? I'm going to take a vape. Let's go back up top, talk about this guy a little bit more and up close and personal. Okay, back up top here. So let's talk about this guy. It's comfortable. I love the finish on it. I love that surface coating, like latex dipped. So that's nice. You could take a beating. It's a good beater mod. It's a 100-watt mod. What I don't like about it is those buttons on the bottom, because that's how we put our mods down. So if there's any possibility of switching from temperature control to variable wattage mode, that might happen there. I don't love that. Okay, and then you want to lock this thing when you're walking away from it. So temperature control, variable wattage mode. It's a dual 18650 box mod. Dual 18650 regulated mod. For that purpose, it's great. Now, you really want me to mess around with temperature control today? I will, but I'm going to do it in my way. Let's go ahead and prime this coil up. I'm not going to vape on this the way you want. I'm going to just check it to see if it backs down power. So I'm going to get this primed up, then I'm going to fire it, and I'm going to see if it backs down power here on camera. Let's hope it does. Otherwise, I will have not nice things to say, and I don't want to do that unnecessarily. I had to do that recently because the company wouldn't listen, and they told us that we had the issue, that we were wrong. You know, they sent a product out for review. A bunch of reviewers told them, hey, listen, this isn't cool. You got a product that doesn't work, and you only supplied nickel coils. Go back to the drawing board with that thing, fix it. And what did they say? They said, no, you guys are wrong. The thing does work, and then they want to push that on the American market. So, like, don't send me a product if you want me to just fake it. That ain't me. I may end up editing all of that out, or I may end up leaving that in, depending on what happens in the next 60 seconds. So let's pretend it was in a tank and it just got all, is a nickel coil. While I'm waiting for that to just soak in a little bit, I'm going to show you. They sent me, this is Bauway. They have a bunch of different products. Look at all the different tanks they have. Look at all the different mods they have. So they're not brand new to the industry. They're very popular over there in Asia. I haven't heard of them in the United States, but a couple of people have. They make an herb stick. They make a herb stick. So you could smoke some herb in there if that's what you're into. I'm not into that. They make a CigGo pen mod that looks cool. They make a CigGo tube, a CigGo mini pen, a CigGo bottom feed like squonker box with the cool like scorpion look on it. Very Asian looking, appealing device. Got some, I mean, that is kind of cool. It's a squonker mod with like some bling, jazzy dressing on it. And that's what they got. And then now they're getting into, they have a 50 watt and a 100-watt device. Yeah. So this Browns guy here, that's their 50 watt and then the 100 watt. They sent me 4 of these. One of them I gave to Sarkaz, another YouTube reviewer that I met up with in Brooklyn yesterday for a review. I gave her the one in red, but I still have 2, and she'll review it or not review it, but that's what I did with it. I have 2 of these to give away. We'll see if we're going to give this away. And they also sent me 3 extra boxes of coils, which was very nice. Very nice, thank you. But they're all 0.2 ohm nickel coils. So I didn't get any of their Canthal. I would have really, really enjoyed Bauway. This is Lucy Zhang. Lancy Zhang. This is her card. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you sending this stuff out to me. We didn't really have a chance to chat about your product, about the type of reviews I do. And I don't mean to ambush you here, but we didn't talk about nickel and Canthal before you sent these to me. I would have loved to have your Canthal coils. Then I would sit and vape and test that tank out, but I don't. So we're going to pretend the obligatory 30 seconds have elapsed. And now I'm going to have to switch this from wattage mode to temperature control mode. And I'm setting it. Okay, let me do this on camera. I'm just going to hold it up. I have it set for 440 degrees. You see that? All right. All I want to do is see if it backs down power. Okay, this is not a dry coil. Actually, it is backing down power. It's turning off. Very nice. You see that? So it's sensing that the coil is dry. Perfect. That's all you want. So that when you're vaping and your juice gets low and you're not paying attention and you don't notice that the flavor's diminishing and within a puff or two, and you go ahead and hit this, if the tank ran dry, look it, it's cutting off power. It's very nice. It's exactly what I want to see from a device. So I'm happy to see that the temperature control works. Thank you, Bauway. Very nicely done. So now I'm going to give these 2 away. This is day 22 of my VapeFestivus Holiday Advent Calendar giveaway. And the giveaway for today is 2 different winners. Each one is going to win one of these sets. Okay? I don't want beginners picking this up and using nickel without understanding what they're doing. So you've got to reassure me that you know what you're doing with temperature control if I send this out to you. Or let me know, hey, I'm a beginner, but I'm not going to use that tank. I'm going to put that off to the side until I have a really good understanding of how temperature control works. And then you've got this in reserve as a backup. I'm not saying don't ever use it. I'm saying know what you're doing. If you're a beginner, learn regular vaping first and then get into all of this. So unfortunately about this tank, I don't have the Canthal coils to show you how it vapes. And I really just don't feel like firing this up in temperature control today. I'm sorry. But other than that, as far as I can tell, it's a really nice device. It's a really nice setup. I don't know what it costs. I've got to imagine the whole kit about $70. Why do I say that? Because if it costs more than that, why would I buy this instead of versus something else in the market? So I'm going to say about for $70 or so around there, you got a good, decent, nice 100-watt beater mod. I don't know, maybe $80, $90. Who am I to say what things should and can sell for and do sell for in the market? That's not my job. My job is to show you what it looks like. So I've got one in silver, one in blue. That's the giveaway. Comment down below which color you'd like, and then I'll pick 2 winners. The first winner will get the color of their choice. The second winner will get the color remaining left over. And you get a box of coils as well, if you're an advanced vapor. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much for watching this review, this video. Thank you for participating in the giveaway, Quest for Vape.